Welcome. Welcome everyone to Christmas Eve 2024 from Shepherd's Field, the grotto of Shepherd's Field in Beit Sahur. We begin by always listening to sacred scripture, and this is a story that you're familiar with, which took place here in this region from the Gospel of St. Luke. Now there were shepherds in that region, living in the fields and keeping the night watch over their flock. The angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were struck with great fear. The angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I proclaim to you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For today, in the city of David, a Savior has been born for you, who is Christ and Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find an infant wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was a multitude of the heavenly host with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God on the highest, and on earth peace to those upon whom His favor rests." It is a great honor for me on this Christmas Eve 2024, here in this grotto in Shepherd's Field, to be able to welcome our very special guests for this edition of Connections. I first would like to welcome Shireen Awad. Shireen Awad serves as the Director of Outreach at Bethlehem Bible College. In addition to Shireen, I welcome Joseph Hasbun. Joseph Hasbun, whom you have already met, serves as the Regional Director of CNEWA and Pontifical Mission here in Jerusalem. And along with Joseph, I welcome here Rodolphe Saad, who is our Projects Manager, again, here in the CNEWA and Pontifical Mission Office in Jerusalem. We've come here on this Christmas Eve 2024 to reflect upon a world which has changed and perhaps changed quite radically since our last meeting here. But in our prayer, we prayed the prayer of that first Christmas night, welcoming and hoping and praying for peace to descend upon this land where the Prince of Peace was born, in the hearts of each one of you and in the hearts of all people of goodwill in our world. And so as we begin, I would just like to invite Shireen to tell us a little bit about her work, her particular work at Bethlehem Bible College, and then we'll start the conversation together. Shireen?
Thank you. It's good to be with you today. My name is Shireen Awad, and I was born here in the Shepherd's Field. So I call myself, the shepherds. When even asking people who are the shepherds are those who are the indigenous people of the land. So I am one of those people. I work at the Bethlehem Bible College, and the Bethlehem Bible College is an amazing organization that actually lights in the midst of darkness. To me, Bethlehem Bible College is home, and Bethlehem Bible College is pioneer in actually spreading the word of Jesus in this country. One, and we also have, as you mentioned, Director of Outreach. I oversee the humanitarian and let's say the connecting part of the community together with the Bible College. We are called to be part of the community as Christians, to be part of the community despite the fact that we are a minority in number. We are called to be part of the majority. We're not called to segregate ourselves from the majority. And this is why Bethlehem Bible College is one of those organizations and colleges that works hard to lift up the people of Palestine.
You mentioned in terms of the population, the changing population here, Shireen. Could you just help us to appreciate a little more? We're now in Beit Sahur, just very close to Bethlehem. What kinds of changes have you experienced over the years in population?
Yes, as maybe people know or actually are not aware of in a way or another, but unfortunately the Christian presence now is way less than 1%, which is very threatening.
Yes.
if you think about it. Most of the Christians actually reside in the area of Bethlehem or in the area of the Bethlehem district. But unfortunately, even now with the war that is taking place now, it has been over 14 months where people are suffering. Many people took the decision to actually leave the country. We would say I always give people a number, it's not very accurate, but it's around 70 families already left. And that itself is a red light. That itself is a threatening. The percentage of Christians in the West Bank is also minimal, if you think about it. It's about, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 16% from records I remember, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But that is also a threat. That is also a warning, because at the end of the day, we as Christians, indigenous people of the land, we did not convert to Christianity. And I want people to continue to remember that this is the birthplace of Christianity. I don't want our churches to turn into museums. And therefore, we have to work, and we have to work hard for this reason.
Shireen, thank you. And thank you for the hard work that you are doing and the dedication that you bring to that work. I'm also accompanied, as I mentioned earlier, by Joseph Hasbun. Joseph, as you know, and you've met him before, is the director, the regional director of the CNEWA and Pontifical Mission Office located here in Jerusalem. And as many of you know, this year we have marked the 75th anniversary of the presence of Pontifical Mission in this particular region around the Middle East. Joseph, could you share with us maybe some of the changes that have occurred, certainly just before the 75th anniversary, but have continued throughout these months that we've been working and that your team has been working so hard in the region?
Sure, thank you, Monsignor. Unfortunately, we are witnessing a lot of change, not only in the Holy Land, but also in the whole Middle East. It started, of course, with the events in Gaza that have left now around 80% of Gaza destroyed. And that leaves a number of questions and question marks. We don't know how this war will end, first of all. And we don't know who will be left once the war is over, how much we can rebuild, and whether there is a need to rebuild. These are lots of question marks that this is the first time that we feel we are unable to project the future. In previous wars, we were able to somehow expect what is the result, where the damages are, and what will be needed. But the time that this war has taken and the extent of damage makes it really impossible. But Gaza is not the only place. Bethlehem has shifted as well. As Shireen mentioned, some of the families have already left. Others may leave if the situation continues like that. The complete shutdown of the tourism and pilgrimage sector and the suspension of the working permits that left around 180,000 people without work is also affecting the people's lives and ability to continue to put food on the table. In addition to all of that, what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Syria, these are all events that affect us and affect the mentality and the willingness of the people to continue to call this land their home. So here where we come in to spread hope. And I believe that the message that you read in the gospel minutes ago is very important for us. Do not be afraid. That is a very important message that we try to spread among the young people, but also among the families and the heads of institutions who are in direct contact with the people. Do not be afraid, because we are not alone. And we are in the land where Christianity began, as Shireen said. So this is very important to remember and to have faith that God will not forsake us. We are His people, and He will continue to take care of us. And in His name and in the name of Pope Francis, we continue to provide support to the people in Bethlehem in various projects and programs. Unfortunately, we started working on development so that we can help institutions and the people to develop their abilities and to improve their services. Now with what is happening, we have to go back to relief and urgent support, emergency support. So of course this will bring us back a few years because it will kind of deprive us the progress that we made together. But that is something that we can always compensate. The important thing now is save lives, whether in Gaza or in Bethlehem, where people are starving. I remember when our team was talking with one of our institutions in Gaza that will implement the emergency program that we recently launched. She said, we are starving, but although we are starving, we are making preparations for launching the intervention in partnership with you. So indeed, beyond the work that we do, there are tragedies, there are tragic stories, as you listen to some of these from the staff, from the people that we met today.
Joseph, thank you. Thank you so much for your introduction here and your overview. Thank you for your leadership and all that you are doing here under very, very difficult circumstances. I'm very deeply moved, as I'm sure our viewers are, by what you both said, in that you identified the fact that this is where Christianity began. It's not that missionaries came here to make Christians. Christmas is due to what started here in the East, and Easter is due to what started here in the East. And it is from here that the church grew. It is from here that people were evangelized. And I think, Shireen, that your comment, and Joseph, your comment, were very important along those lines. And for us to remember that, we've come here to the very roots, to the seed where everything was planted and from which everything grew. Let me now just turn to Rodolphe. Rodolphe Saad is very much involved as our projects manager in the overview that he has with the team of the different projects where we are engaged. And as a matter of fact, I arrived here last night. Tomorrow, we'll be heading out and going and visiting a number of these projects from the region here of Jerusalem and Bethlehem and going north up to Haifa. Rodolphe, could you offer maybe some thoughts, some comments on the work that you and the team are doing as you come into different projects, and especially, as Joseph intimated, with some of the more recent challenges that have come because of the kind of suffering that is experienced in Gaza?
Well, Monsignor, I can, just add that we just launched an emergency program for Gaza. We are now will be working with 4 of our long-term partners in Gaza, one of which is the Ahli Anglican Hospital. We will be supporting them in taking care of their, patients, inpatients, outpatients, together with another 3 institutions that will be trying to work on distributing food parcels, together with the psychosocial programs for the children, their parents, their mothers, that include, group activities, group counseling, parents counseling, children counseling. But as you mentioned, the challenges, since the eruption of the war, it was difficult at that time to get food to the different regions of Gaza, but during these times, it became harder and harder to get food supplies to the different parts of Gaza. Since we launched our program, our partners have been facing so much difficulties in getting the basic food supplies that they could provide the families with. This is one. The second one is the prolonged war also, let's say, also affected, as Joseph mentioned, affected Bethlehem. So now we have to, also turn our eyes to Bethlehem, try to give people some hope by giving them employment opportunities. Although it's, temporary, but at least you are giving the families some hope together with distributing food parcels with some of our partners in Bethlehem. But the problem is that the challenges these institutions are facing, that more and more people are in need and the resources are scarce. So we have to, to come up with some plans, how to best use what we have to help those people.
Well, thank you very much. And I know, because I've been with you and Joseph when we've gone to different sites, gone to different projects, I see the kind of assessment that you do, and that assessment then becomes so important for us in the New York City office to be able to watch and really follow the way in which the Bethlehem, the Jerusalem office prioritizes the way in which we have to go about trying to get support for the great work that you're doing. Shireen, I was wondering if maybe from the perspective of someone who is a native right here from Bethlehem, who works now with regard to the Bethlehem College, the Bible College, if there were maybe any other insights, final insights that you would want to share with our viewers so they could appreciate really the urgency of what we're all talking about here.
So there has to be a way, and this is why we're trying our voices to be heard, where we want peace instead of weapons. We want people to think, how can this be a better world? According to, if we go into theory, according to Maslow pyramid, for example, if you want to reach to the scale of what's called security, you have to start with what's basic needs, which is the physical needs. And this is what we have been doing together. Food parcels distributed by the Pontifical Mission, and also by us, but it's never enough. So when I said, you know your friend in hard times, because no matter how much we do, but we are united, because the work is horrendous, is a lot. There is so much to be done. The fact, specifically to Bethlehem, people say, why do you keep pointing at Bethlehem? It's not because only Bethlehem is the birthplace of Jesus Christ, because people count on tourism. Over 60% of the people work on tourism. That doesn't mean that these people only have souvenir shops, hotels, restaurants, tour guides, and name it. So basically, these organizations coming together to serve the people of Palestine in hardship, this is what is special about us being united together. So I'm very proud to get to know the organization, the Pontifical Mission, the fact that we're working hand in hand. We're not here to compete. We're here to actually complete and complement each other to make a beautiful picture in the hardship of the situation that my people are going through. Job opportunities is one, and that itself was also hope to many people, because we are providing food, others are providing food, but also people want to work. There are so many young men and women that are so tired staying home. We all thought it's going to be a month, 2 months maximum. This is how it was in previous days. And all of a sudden, it went beyond a year. What should be done? We should also work on the skills, the spirit of the people, because if we don't show the light towards the end of the tunnel, then there is no hope for my people.
Shireen, thank you very much for your very powerful words. Joseph, you have worked many years tirelessly with Pontifical Mission, and as regional director here, you provided great leadership, and you brought many, many people together here when we marked our 75th anniversary in the presence of Cardinal Dolan, the chair of our Board of Trustees, when we came here in April. Any thoughts that you have on this Christmas Eve in terms of an expression, as Shireen has said and as Rodolphe has said, that we can give this virtue of hope new meaning?
Sure. First of all, I commend on Shireen's words regarding working together. No one party alone can do much, but together we can do a lot. And as a matter of fact, Bethlehem is filled with Christian institutions that are serving the community with no discrimination, which is really fascinating. Universities, colleges, schools, hospitals, clinics, elderly centers, orphanages, all of these institutions are a face of the church, are a reflection of the message of Jesus to go and do to our neighbors as we would like them to do to us. So this is the message of the church, and it's very strong in Bethlehem. It's interesting to know that, yes, we are 1%, but the services of the NGO sector of the church and church-related institutions reaches out to around 33% of the population. So on annual basis, we serve all together, not only one party, but all together, around 2.5 million people in the country, which is a lot. And therefore, really, as we reach out to support our partners on the ground, these tens of institutions that we support and who rely on us to support them, we also need the support of our donors and the individuals who want to do good. We are the channel through which they can reach to every single needy person without discrimination, because our motto has always been need, not creed. And so we really need the donations. The more, the better, as the size of the need is really beyond the imagination.
Joseph, thank you. Shireen, I'm very grateful to you, and Rodolphe, to you, to the three of you for your presence here on this Christmas Eve 2024 for this edition of Connections. It will be on Christmas Day this year that Pope Francis will open the Jubilee year for 2025 in Rome. And the dedication or the theme of this particular Jubilee year is Pilgrims in Hope. We travel as pilgrims, we travel in hope. I invite you, who have been such great supporters of CNEWA and Pontifical Mission, to make that theme your own in your lives. A new dedication to being pilgrims in hope, traveling together. What does that mean? That means, first and foremost, a rededication to our lives of prayer. It's interesting to note, and I hope that someday you'll have the opportunity to come here to Shepherd's Field. Just above us is the beautiful church that was designed by the one called the architect of the Holy Land, a man by the name of Antonio Baruzzi. Baruzzi was the architect for many churches here in the Holy Land. But as he came to each site, the first thing that he did was to pray. And from his prayer came the design of the church that then marks this land, the landscape throughout the Holy Land. And so I invite you, all of us, to intensify our interior life, our personal lives of prayer, as we are about to welcome the Prince of Peace on the day in which we mark his birthday. Second, I also invite you to go to the CNEWA website. At the CNEWA website, you will be able to see the many things that CNEWA and Pontifical Mission are doing, wherever it is that we're working, but particularly right now with this emergency campaign that we have launched for the Holy Land. This is something that is extremely important. In the Holy Land and throughout the Middle East, we're trying to respond to what you are so familiar with in terms of whatever your news media outlet is, be it in Israel, in Palestine, in Gaza, be it on the West Bank, be it in Lebanon, be it in Syria. Pontifical Mission is there. Be it in Jordan, and I could go on with the list. We are in each of these places. We would appreciate your attention to our website to get the Catholic story. The Catholic Church is on the ground trying to bring basic humanitarian assistance to people whose suffering is enormous, and to participate in the Jubilee year by giving those people some hope. And the final request that I make each time that we are together is to beg on you, here as we come to the end of this year, the year 2024, to reach deep and to make some offering, some donation to the work of CNEWA and Pontifical Mission in the area and in the regions that we have talked about. CNEWA is a 501c3 organization, so whatever donation that you're able to give us, you'll be able to have the tax receipt, our deep gratitude, and be able to use that as perhaps you are considering final donations as we come to the end of the calendar year 2024. I thank you for joining us for this very special edition of what we've come to know here in terms of connections, and I look forward to continuing to meet with you during the year 2025, the Jubilee year in which we will travel as pilgrims of hope. Thank you.